There are a few stories in the Bible that never failed to capture my imagination as a 6-year-old. I have 2 older brothers, and so one of them was the story of David and Goliath. And I used to revel in the idea that the small one would one day slay the large one. Today's first reading, the story of the call of Samuel, was another one. I have a very, very clear memory of lying in bed, waiting, just knowing that the moment was coming when I would hear God call my name. And I was very excited to think about how I would respond in that moment. And yet, it was a matter of decades before I could genuinely, authentically, confidently say that I have heard the call of God in my life. And that, I think, is a very good inspiration to carry with us during this time of pre-Lent. This is a time when at least the eastern side of the church calls us to stop and consider your life right now. And is there any occasion in your life when your confidence that God is who He says He is and you are who He says you are is impaired in any way? I was thinking about it in these terms today. Last night, I slept in a bed under a nice, fluffy, warm blanket. All night I slept. I woke up this morning and had a whole variety of things available for breakfast. I got up, I had a nice hot shower. I got dressed. And on top of all that, I stuck a computer in my pocket that is thousands of times bigger and faster than the computer that they used to put a man on the moon. And yet I'm still catching myself thinking, it's not good enough. There's something out there that I still want or that I still need. And left untended by grace, that notion begins to metastasize and becomes the ground in which Satan loves to go to work. Maybe God isn't as good as He says He is. Maybe God isn't as powerful as He says He is. Maybe God isn't as loving as He says He is. Or maybe He is good and loving and powerful, but just not for you. And so Lent becomes that special time of year that, assuming that we have taken stock of our lives and we have taken stock of those times and places, that work or that activity or that relationship that tends to be that place in our lives where Satan goes to work to begin to plant seeds of doubt, to undermine our confidence that God is who He says He is, and we are who He says we are. And then to actively undertake and invite God to go to work right there, Lord. That's where I need you. and to undertake whatever shift in work or activity or relationship that is necessary to allow God to go to work right there in our lives, is where the transformation of Lent that the church intends it to be begins to take place. Now, the sort of nominal notion is, well, what are you giving up for Lent this year? And the usual response is, I don't know, I'll give up chocolate or alcohol or TV. And I'll almost make it. And if your honest conclusion is that it's chocolate or TV or social media or alcohol or whatever else it is, if that's honestly your belief that that's where Satan goes to work in your life and that's where you need God to intervene in your life, then by all means do that. But I would suggest to you that maybe you're in the habit of giving up one of those things for Lent, or at least trying to give up one of those things for Lent, because you don't know the real work that God is waiting to perform in your life. And that's why we start now. That's why we don't wait until the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday to start thinking about what we're going to do for Lent. That's why we make it a matter of days or weeks of prayerful preparation and prepare ourselves to make Lent the season of prayer and penance and real transformation that the church intends it to be. Because here's what will happen. If we're doing the right preparation now, and Lent becomes that season of transformation that God truly intends it to be for you, you will see Jesus standing outside of the open tomb. You will see him in a way that you have never seen him before. And you will know in a way that you never have before the life that his passion and death and resurrection has won for you and for everyone that you love.